Alright, so I wanted to go ahead and do a video about my next Masternode cryptocurrency, or in this case they call it a secure node, not Masternode. But this is going to be about Zen Cash, which you may or may not have heard about. It's actually a newer cryptocurrency. When did that roll out? Just back in June, maybe? I don't know. It came out just recently this year, a few months ago. Yeah, looks like back in June. So, a very new cryptocurrency. This is a privacy-oriented cryptocurrency. If you might have heard where it came from, ZenCash is actually a fork. Well, it's a fork of a fork, funny enough, there. This article talks about it a bit, and highlights a little bit of differences between them. But basically, this started originally. The first one is Zcash, which is a very privacy-oriented cryptocurrency, which, as you can see, has gained a lot in value there. $192 a coin now. I think Zcash. I think that's the one that J.P. Morgan is actually supposed to be investigating it and the technology behind it and possible applications of it. Anyway, due to some, various reasons or whatever, some people decided to do a fork of Zcash, which created Z Classic here. Another privacy-oriented cryptocurrency there. And then apparently, devs again decided that there were some things they didn't like about. I don't know about not like is the right word, but basically they felt like the project could take a different direction. So again, some people decided to fork it themselves and created ZenCash, which is what we're looking at now. So yeah, ZenCash is a fork of a fork there, and it's a privacy-oriented cryptocurrency. The developers are wanting to it uses the similar, whatever it's called, Z Snarks technology. Yeah, zero knowledge Snarks technology. Uses similar technology to that of the original Zcash, but they look to take it a step further and, possibly improve upon the ability for ZenCash to, hide transactions on it and keep stuff that you do anonymous. And I have to say that I really like what I'm seeing here with it. Now, kind of like TerraCoin, ZenCash is one where nodes have not been rolled out just yet. They're going to be in the near future. They're actually in the testing phase right now. They're expected to release in the next 5 to 6 weeks, if not sooner. One of the things different here is ZenCash. It doesn't use master nodes. What they're known as is secure nodes, and the reason because of that is because the nodes are meant to secure and anonymize transactions to maintain your privacy on the network there. I have to say that out of all my crypto, like all the cryptos I hold interest in, ZenCash here, this probably is one of my favorites. I'm very impressed with it overall as a cryptocurrency, like with the vision and the roadmap and the goals and the team and just everything about it, I think is all coming very nicely together. So, what are some of the reasons why a cryptocurrency like this interests me? Privacy being the first and biggest thing. Like, you very likely heard of Monero, you probably very likely heard of Zcash. They both really been taking off. I've read a lot of articles recently, with crypto firms talking about tracking transactions, and there's like give and take about how well you can track stuff in the blockchain. Like Bitcoin, for instance, like I had mentioned before, Bitcoin's not meant to be privacy oriented, but services like mixing services have been added to help make it privacy oriented. Other cryptos like Dash have built in mixing capability. And then obviously things like Zcash and Monero take it a bit further there. And there's always this kind of battle or contest between the ability to track and the ability to hide transactions. Like Zcash and Monero are ones that, while they have their flaws, are admittedly, security experts admitted they're a lot harder to be able to track than most of the other ones. And I believe that there's a future in this just for a whole variety of reasons, you know? But I do believe privacy-oriented cryptocurrencies is it's already a big thing, but it's going to become an even bigger thing as time goes by. And it's not just for like criminals and the dark web and stuff like that. It's for people legitimately using that. And there's a whole variety of reasons why someone might want to hide their activity on the blockchain. Like so I've never really agreed with the, if you have nothing to hide, then there's no reason to hide it. I don't agree with that at all. We see examples of that. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons you might want to hide your transactions. Maybe companies want to make deals without people being able to know, what it is that they're doing. Maybe people want to be able to privately make transactions with each other without being spied on. Maybe, organizations will want to send money to people in third world countries with oppressive governments to help them, with their living expenses. Or maybe someone might want to who's being stalked or harassed or in an abusive relationship, may they want to be able to move money without worrying about a crazy extra stalker following them. There's all kinds of situations where technology like this is needed. And, like Venezuela, this is one of the best examples. If you haven't heard, Venezuela has been suffering from hyperinflation for a while now. Yes, started back in 2012. Their money is basically worth nothing, and people are starving almost. So, out of desperation, people have resorted to mining. Bitcoin's the biggest thing, but the government started cracking down on that, and they started really cracking down, like literally arresting people, for that, you know. And in response, some people started looking at other things, such as mining Monero instead, since it's harder to track there. So I definitely think that these privacy-oriented cryptocurrencies have a future, and I think ZenCash is kind of looking to lead the pack almost in many respects. Not to say that not to say Zcash or Zclassic or Monero are bad. Obviously they're not perfect. I'm sure ZenCash isn't perfect, but it looks to approach things from a little bit of a different way to address some things there. Not only are they going to be, like, for example, not are they going to use, like, the shielded transactions using the ZK snarks technology, but they have other things they want to integrate too. Like the secure nodes, like I mentioned there, like the secure nodes will be authenticated or verified through SSL certificates to, help minimize the capability of someone trying, like, to be able to spoof the network, for instance, there. There's a lot of other things too, which I'll get to in a second, but I guess I should mention the node part. So what's involved with actually running a ZenCash node? Basically, you need to own enough ZenCash, which the official number they've settled on. I mean, I shouldn't say official, but the number that they've said so far is like 99% for sure. The number is going to be 42 ZenCash, and then you'll be able to run a secure node. Now, they're one of those cryptos where they're going more for a quantity, like they want a large number of secure nodes. That's kind of why the price is a bit lower. But they also recognize that ZenCash is going to be kind of a higher value crypto right out the gate there. Like, when it first came out, was it worth that much, really? I think it was worth a bit less. But yeah, early on, ZenCash was worth like $5. It shot up, it's fluctuated, but it shot up past 15, like 10, 15, all the way up to almost $20, I believe. Then it was averaging, it was averaging around, $5, like fluctuating around that range. It went to a high of about 10, 11. Then in this recent market drop, it's averaging around 5. It was at 5 for 5 and 6 for a minute. Now it's back at 7. But, it's already kind of like a high value crypto, even with how new it is. And I think that's why they have it 42, because, you can already see 42, that's already going to cost a couple $100 to set one up now. I mean, if this takes off like Zcash or Monero, it's going to be a lot more expensive to run a secure node. They want a network of a couple thousand secure nodes. So the payments on the secure nodes aren't huge. I think it's like 3% of mined rewards or something like that. So, at the end of the day, this is one where you profit more off the price opposed to the quantity of ZenCash you'd be getting. But still, I definitely think it's worthwhile to get involved with this one here. Like, some of the things that make ZenCash stand out to me are, like, some of the features they're looking to integrate into it. Like, they're looking to add a private communication system. What that means is through the ZenCash wallet or app, not only can you make secure private transactions, but the secure nodes, using the blockchain can relay communication as well. So that means people will be able to privately communicate with each other for whatever reason across the ZenCash blockchain. Again, you'll be able to send these transactions that are shielded, and they're looking for ways to improve this. Like, I know they're working on the secure nodes, but they're already beta testing nodes over the Tor network as well, which, if you're not familiar with Tor, that's a network of decentralized nodes that are very well known for being anonymous, so they're just looking for various ways to go ahead and protect the network or protect people's transactions. Don't quote me on it, but I also believe that you can send ZenCash across the network for free for non-shield. Like, they're going to have shielded and non-shielded transactions. I believe the non-shielded ones are either free or, like, the fee. Because, there's always a fee to send cryptos. I think the fee for non-shielded transactions is, like, basically non-existent or insanely low. Because they're mainly going to be charging fees for, for processing shielded transactions there. And here's the other thing I like. Much like Terracoin, they have a ZenCash treasury, which works to, here, about 8.5 of each mining block. It's used for operations development, getting the message of Zen out there. Basically, it goes to a blockchain foundation. It's like a non-profit entity, kind of like Terracoin. This entity is solely dedicated towards growing and maintaining ZenCoin or ZenCash and spreading the word of it. And then, the other 3.5 is mining rewards split among the secure nodes. Stuff like this I like a lot. Like with Terracoin, like I mentioned, they have a dedicated group that's working to further the interest of, ZenCash, to continue developing it, to continue making it better. They're working on a decentralized governance kind of voting mechanism, kind of like Dash and like other ones are integrating. And also this foundation, they're very active, and that's probably one of my favorite things about it. Like, they actually hold regular bi-weekly Q&As where they'll go through a little thing. Like, this is actually an email as an example of one that I got. It just tells you, like, all the stuff they're doing, which, you can see that they're doing a bunch of stuff here, and then they'll have, like, I don't know, I think it's like 20 or 30 minutes, live stream on YouTube. They tell everyone, hey, this is kind of where we're at with stuff. And then sometimes they'll have a little Q&A afterwards where you can ask a few questions. And as you can tell, they're just doing a ton of things, and that's one thing I like about it. I mean, they're developing mobile apps, they're integrating themselves into services like, coin payments. If you're not familiar, that's a service you use to pay with cryptocurrencies for different services. They're marketing the heck out of ZenCash, which is really cool. They actually, part of the funds, mentioned here, are being paid to a marketing team, and this team is busy marketing ZenCash to people around the world. They're like their biggest user base is in the US right now, but their second biggest one is in Russia. And they're really starting to grow there. They even talk about, like, they broke it down into high-level graphs during the YouTube, live stream Q&A, talking about, like, here's what we're doing on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and, here's our number of hits and our increase in views and followers, and, You know, here you can tell they've been added for more services. Like this is a new one right here, where this VPN service will start accepting ZenCash, as a method of payment there. So it's just they're very active across the board. Like they have a Slack channel that's always very active as well. And it's very helpful, they have a general area, they have an area where miners can ask questions like I was doing, or they even have this secure node area. This is just them talking about what's going on with testing now. But, once the secure nodes are done, you'll be able to go there to ask questions and whatnot. There's some pretty good guides that are pretty straightforward on setting up the nodes. The secure nodes aren't ready yet, but you can get your node mostly ready for once they roll out. Like I said, there's some really good videos about that. And they're looking to expand. They made it very clear that they're looking to team up with, people to engage the community and get more people aware of ZenCash. They're looking to team up with miners to, mine ZenCash and educate others. Now to do it, they're just across the board, and they're looking to add all these features to ZenCash, like, the decentralized voting and the private messaging system integrated into the wallet and all this other stuff. I think it's really cool. I like it a lot, And I liked it enough that when I got a new video card, I've been mining a little bit of ZenCash, which that's another nice thing. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against cryptos that are ASIC mined, but that is one nice thing, is that's another nice thing with ZenCash, is that it is, you can GPU or CPU mine it. I actually think it's built to be ASIC resistant. So that, obviously people with more high-end, CPUs and GPUs especially tend to profit more, but that makes it a little bit more of a level playing ground for everybody there. And even me with my, one video card, I'm not making much, but I can still GPU mine a little bit, on the side here. So yeah, they're just integrating a lot of stuff across the board, from excellent communication, probably one of the best dev teams I've seen as far as communicating and making you feel like you know what's going on and keeping you updated. They do an excellent job at that. And, they're working to add all these features. They're working to market it to people. They talk about all, what kind of stuff they want to integrate it into the future. As far as like the secure messaging and the secure transactions, they want to integrate Tor nodes to make it even more anonymous. I think it's just overall very well done, and they have that that nonprofit foundation, which I think that something like that is a really good idea. I think that's part of what will make TerraCoin successful. I think that's part of what will make ZenCash successful, is this group of people dedicated to the continued improvement and success of ZenCash there. So in the near future, I could see ZenCash. I really see it taking off there. I think that it has kind of a perfect storm of all these things that make it a really great, private, cryptocurrency, and I could see it, definitely competing with, Zcash, Monero, and all the others there as one of the best secure cryptos. I have a lot of faith in this one. I'm very impressed by it, and I think it'll go far. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. So if you want, feel free to go and check it out, look into it, let me know what you think, and I'll look forward to coming to you with my next video.